Yo, people, it's your boy, Halftime Hawks, and we're back again to talk about some Arsenal. So, I'm going to cover a few things today, but, mainly just a general chat about Arsenal. Um, some of the topics I'm going to be covering is, can we create history by making it back to the semi-finals of the UCL? I guess what do Arsenal need to do to win the Premier League, at least in my opinion. Um, and does Arteta need to be sacked if we don't win any trophies this season? Um, so obviously, starting out with the first thing, can we create history by making it back to the semi-finals of the UCL? It's been 15 years. The last time was the 08-09 season. Many moons ago. Many moons ago. God damn. Crazy. Like, just reflecting back on that game. Well, that leg. Well, both legs, I guess, the tie. So in the first leg, we lost at Old Trafford 1-0. John O'Shea scored. Right, shambolic. Sorry, just so dead. And then in the second leg at the Emirates, we got absolutely battered. Like 3-1, absolutely battered. From what I remember, it was just god awful. And yeah, like, just to. So look, long story short, I do think we can make the semi-finals. Just so you know where I'm at, where my thoughts are at. I do think we can make, even though we drew with Bayern, I do think that we can make it to the semi-finals. And I guess the kind of the largest reason, or at least I guess the largest part of why I feel this way, is because of the squad that we have now compared to the squad that we had the last time was in the semi-finals. Like the depth inside of the team is just absolutely insane. So look, in that second leg against Manchester United, this was our starting lineup. Yeah, we had Almunia in goal, absolutely diabolical keeper. Like Almunia, yeah. I'm sorry, you may be nice as a person, and you may be the nicest person in the world, yeah. But as a keeper, you was god awful, man. Absolutely trash. Nowhere near the levels. Have no clue why you were signed. I'm sorry, but man, I'd rather put me in goal. Let's put it that way. Like, there's man that I seen kick ball at the park that do a better job. So, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. He just used to trigger me in it. On the left, we had Kieran Gibbs, a young Kieran Gibbs, and it was his mistake, his slip, that led to Park's first goal. By the way, Park, if you never got to watch this guy play football, he was amazing. Such a great player. And then we had Drew. Drew, man, just honestly. And Colo Torre, bad boy, gave me hope. As centre back pairing. And then we had Sanya on the right. Wavy right back. I used to love Sanya, I can't lie. I used to love Sanya. And then in the midfield, we had Fabregas and Song. Good midfield pairing, very good midfield pairing. Then we had Nasri, just in front of them. I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't like him because of the way that he left Arsenal. But I remember when we signed him and the way that he just played, like he was a baller, absolute baller. I can't really blame him. Like, it's the same for Robin van Persie, who was on the left. I can't really blame them. Like, Arsenal was showing like no ambition or desire at all to challenge at the top levels. Like, this weren't. So Almunia in goal just shows it all in it. Walcott on the right, speed merchant, and Adebayor up top. Don't get me wrong. Adebayor actually had a decent career at Arsenal. The only thing that I always remember about Adebayor is I remember when he first joined, his first touch was, oh my god, absolutely trash. Like his his first touch, yeah, was horrible. And my man did he could not comprehend the offside rule. He just didn't understand offside when he first joined Arsenal, in it. So I know he has a lot of passer with the fans because of how the fans treat him, and I mean, deservedly so. Like, brother, you ran the whole pitch to celebrate in front of the Arsenal fans. Like, deservedly so. You went and played for Tottenham. Deservedly so. But yeah, like, yeah, at Arsenal, I can't lie. You gave us a little bit of hope, a glimmer of hope. You did bits. And on the bench, we had Lucas Fabianski. Yeah, our goalkeeping situation was dire at them times. Mikel Sylvestre, yo, by the way, I believe he's still one of the worst signings that we've ever made in the history of Arsenal. Emmanuel Boué, big up, my guy. Love you. Denilson, super meaty. Abu Diaby could have been one of the greatest midfielders in the world, but just always injured. Such a shame. Carlos Vela, again, just not at the levels. Nicholas Bentner, just not at the levels, man. Like, don't get me funny guy, but just nowhere near the levels. Um, And I mean, I compare that to what we have now, and it's just leaps and bounds, man. Like, yo, these men are on Earth, and the team now is like squad now somewhere in the stratosphere. Like, it's just the difference in quality is insane. And now when we're making substitutions, like it's not taking off Fabregas for Denilson. It's taking off Jorginho for Partey. Or taking off Rice for Partey, and it's like, okay, it's a little bit, taking off Martinelli for Trossard, like, is different in it. So yeah, and I mean, in this game, Ronaldo, we just have to talk about it. So Ronaldo's free kick, yeah, was absolutely bonkers. Like, do you know what? Like, even his second goal, the crazy break, and he runs through into the box and just top left. Like, yeah, it still amazes me the way that people speak about Ronaldo. I'll be completely real, because I used to have to watch this guy in the Prem, and boy, he used to take that absolute piss. Like, he was something special, man. But yo, it just showed, like, at least back then, like, just the difference in quality. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong, like, that Manchester United team was very strong. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this Bayern Munich team is very strong. It's just Bayern Munich right now, I don't know, something's just off about them. Like, I mean, I would usually be sitting here thinking, okay, we go into the Allianz Arena, very difficult place to go. Um, and we're not going there with a lead, which makes it harder. So we have to score. Well, I say we have to score. If we want to avoid penalties, we have to score. And then, do I think we can keep a clean sheet there? No. Which kind of puts added pressure on us to have to score the goal first. But I don't know. I don't know if other people feel like this, but I just don't have any fear at all in my heart. Like, I just don't have any fear. Like, I don't feel like we're gonna go there and get battered. I don't feel like we're gonna go there and, like, it's such an uphill battle. Like, I don't have that kind of thought in my head of like, oh, we're gonna lose, man. Like, oh, defeat. I don't none of that. I don't have none of that. Um, and it's just because of the better squad. Like, we have so many options. Like, we have so many different things that we can do if we just utilize the squad and the personnel within the squad in different ways. Like, what we tried to do at the Emirates, you know, performance wise, I think it worked, but we just weren't clinical enough. We didn't capitalize on the chances that we had, and we gave away goals through really poor individual errors that just didn't need to happen. I just think coupled with the fact that Bayern are just super meaty right now, and look, by the time we next face them, we could have we could have smashed Aston Villa. I mean, don't get me wrong, we could also draw or lose with Aston Villa, but we could have smashed Aston Villa, and they could have got battered in their league game because, brother, they've thrown in the towel already. Like Tuchel went already congratulated by Leverkusen, like he's given up, like it's done. So, but you know what? Bayern might even just rest a lot of their key players in the next game. They may just do that. But nonetheless, I don't even fear any of them. I don't fear them, man. They're not like, don't get me wrong, individually, they have some really cold players, but as a team, they don't really play that great. And then Tuchel makes some weird decisions in game. Like for example, I think one of the players that was actually killing us a lot in the first leg was Leroy Sane, but he subbed him off. When Sane came off, I was like, oh, okay, I guess you don't score now. So yeah, man, Tuchel, keep on making them decisions. And look, look, clearly his head's gone. So these are the reasons why I think that, I think we can make it, to the semi-finals. And then once we're in the semi-finals, I guess we're gonna have to talk about, can we make the final? And it'll be at Wembley. So you never know. You never know. What do Arsenal need to do to win the Premier League? At least in my opinion. So before before I go through our remaining fixtures, and I'll give like a high level kind of overview on what I think is gonna happen in each of those fixtures. So, firstly, I think we need to be pragmatic. That's the first thing. When I say pragmatic, I mean we don't need to overcomplicate things. We don't need to do anything fancy. We just need to play the game how we know it. Be smart, keep it simple, and just get them goals. And if we need to lock it down, just lock it down. We don't need to be smashing teams 5-6-0. We don't need to be chasing goals. We don't need to be doing bicycle kicks, tricks and flicks. None of that. Just keep it pragmatic. Secondly, we need to be ruthless. Now's the time to be ruthless. Arteta, if, for example, if Saka's not performing, send him to the bench. Make him hold bench. I'm not trying to draw out Saka. I'm just using it as an example of like a player who's very key to what we do. Like this is how ruthless we need to be. Saka puts in a stinker, bench him for the next game, and just show people that there's only 7 games remaining. We don't have time for you to not be coming out with the 10-10 performances in it. Be ruthless, but also ruthless in a sense where, for example, if a player gets injured in the game and it's not a head injury and he's lying on the floor doing up, like they like to do, rolling about, leave him there, carry on. They got 10 men on the pitch now. Let's score. Let's just punish the idiot for rolling about on the ground, innit? Don't kick the ball out. Be ruthless. And be clinical. Yeah. Everybody and anybody. That doesn't matter what position you play. If you're in front of the goal, yeah, if you're in front of the goal and you got an opportunity, yeah, to put it back, to put it in the back of the net, in that moment, take your time, yeah, think about where you want to put it, yeah, and put it there. Don't just shoot it, whack it down the middle, make it easier for the keeper. Aim for the corners, yeah. Do you know what? I would rather you try and put it top bins and hit the post or just miss than smash it down the middle when the keeper's just catching it and then throwing it and then they got a break. Do you know what I mean? So be clinical, yeah. If you're in a position where you can shoot and you're shooting, take ownership, take it on, be accountable, score. If not, don't shoot, pass it to someone who may be in a better position. Do you know what I mean? Because clinicality is something that is really going to decide who wins the Prem this season. So look, we got Aston Villa on the Sunday, yeah. By the way, big up the Premier League. We could have played on the Saturday, but oh, why are we gonna give Arsenal 4 days rest before the Champions League? It's whatever in it. So I think we'll be Aston Villa. It's at home. We got a good home record. They got a few players out to injury, and I know Douglas Luiz is suspended. So I'm fairly confident in us at least being able to get a W. I'm not so sure on the scoreline. I think maybe we can keep a clean sheet, but I'm not sure how many goals we'll actually score. Um, and the next in the Prem we have Wolves away. Now, Wolves away is a tricky one for me personally. So I think that they have the ability to hold us out for a draw, but I do think that, and do you know what? I think by the time we come back to them, I think a lot of their big players are going to be back. So I don't know. That game to me, something about it is just screaming draw. Yeah, and then after that, 3 days later, actually, we have Chelsea at home. Yo, smoke these man. Yeah, this game here put these man in a spliff, the biggest spliff ever rolled in the history of time. Yeah, because I cannot stand Chelsea fans. Honestly, I cannot stand them. Like, do you know what? Yeah, since being exposed to all this football YouTube world and all of that, and football Twitter and all of that, I actually think that I hate Chelsea fans more than Tottenham fans. Like, honestly, they're honestly the worst. Like, there is no fan that's worse than the Chelsea fan, and all they do is talk nonsense and big up their players that aren't even good. And man, how many times this season I've had to hear man say to me that Saka is dead because he plays poor and then just nicks goals and scores penalties. But then, by the way, they're bigging up this Palmer you who's scored more penalties than anybody. So I just don't get it. So yeah, bun them, punch them up. Arsenal, if you do not win this game, yo, I'm gonna be vexed. Then it's the North London derby, yeah, it's at Dem Man's Ground. I think so. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because really and truly, all Tottenham are really playing for is let's stop Arsenal from winning the league. That's all they're really playing for. Because I think they've already secured top four. I think they're going to get top four personally. I thought they would get top four from the beginning of the season. And I've seen nothing that changes my mind that they won't get top four. And depending on how us and Man City do in the Champions League, one of us win it. The fifth spot will open. I think the fifth spot opens up for the coefficient if either Arsenal or Man City win the Champions League. Um, so there may even be a chance for them to get into Champions League through fifth. So at this point, in my mind, well, obviously it may change in it depending on their results, but how I anticipate them playing, I think that they're only really going to be playing for let's stop Arsenal's dreams, and that's a lot harder to rally behind than, for example, Arsenal. Oh, if we win this game, we're only 3 games away from winning the league. It's a different gravity in it. So I think we can go there and get a win. But I also think that it's the type of game that the players will be like, we have to win this game. Like, it's a game that we have to win to show that we're there. Like, we're up there. We should be here. We are challenging. We are going to win it. I think that's the game that I think if we win that game, that's the game that decides that we win the league, in my opinion. Because if we win that game, the games after, it's just the risk is not the same anymore. So after that, we then have Bournemouth at home, which I think we will win as well. And then we play Manchester United at Old Trafford 8 days later. And depending on other teams' results, we may have already won the league by then. It's a potentiality. We may have already won the league by then. But I have a sneaky feeling that we'll win that game anyway. No disrespect. Manchester United at their ground is hard. It's difficult, in it. But yo, their manager idiot, their players are idiots, and you just never know what Manchester United you're getting in it. Like, they're so unpredictable, but they just play really poor. I'm sorry. At Manchester United fans, I'm sorry, in it. You probably know this as well, but this season your team has been so hot and cold, and just you're just not at the levels in it. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would just rather they just lose that game to us, because then at least they know in their hearts that Man City's not doing the 4P, which nobody should want, and Liverpool aren't winning the league and leveling. No, wait, no. Do they equal or do they go ahead? I think they go ahead in terms of titles, which you wouldn't want as a Manchester United fan either. And then Everton at home, last game of the season, could potentially be a banana skin, but we may have already won by then. Everton are probably going to be fighting for safety to stay in the Premier League, so they may come out all guns blazing, and that could go one of two ways. Maybe they make a goal, and it's like a 2-1 or something to them, or we just keep on catching them on the break, and it's like a 7-8-0. So yeah, yeah. I think out of the next 7 games, we need a minimum of 5 wins to win the Premier League. So if we can get those 5 wins, I think we're in for a good shout. So finally, I'll touch on it briefly. If Arsenal go trophyless this season, do we need to sack Arteta? It's something that I see spoken about a lot. I mean, just in general, Arsenal gets spoken about a lot anyway. But this specifically, who's the manager at Arsenal and what needs to happen with the managerial appointment at Arsenal, depending on what happens this season, is something that I see spoken about a lot. And this is my current opinion on the scenario. If Arsenal capitulate, from this point, and I see no reason why we will, but if we capitulate, and let's just say out of the last 7 games, we lose 4 games, draw 2 and win 1, and we get knocked out to Bayern in the semi-final, like maybe we lose at the Allianz Arena like 4-2 or 3-1 or 4-0 or 5-1, God forbid, then in my humble opinion, one of 2 things needs to happen, and only one of 2 things. Either you get rid of Arteta and you bring in someone new. You say, thank you, Arteta. You did what you could. You've helped us in many ways. We've got a nice crop of players here. Only need to add maybe one or two quality players to this, and then we can go again next season under someone else's reign. You've solved a lot of problems within the culture of the club, but just this capitulation thing, coupled with twice in a row, coupled with the fact that we perform really poor in the cup competitions, maybe it's time to go. Or Josh Kroenke goes, you know what, Edu, it's time to go. It's time to go, Edu. And we're gonna find a new sporting director to, further the ambition of the club and support, Arteta's ambition for the team, the squad, and we're gonna see what happens. Giving Arteta another summer window in partnership with maybe a sporting director with fresher ideas, can come from a different angle and maybe target different areas of the market and attract a different caliber of player from a different place due to connections, right? Because let's be honest, Edu doesn't have the greatest of connections. Even though he's Brazilian, it's weird. He doesn't have the greatest of connections. And we see how that goes. We give Arteta another year under someone else, and depending on what happens, maybe we review at the end of next season, or maybe even halfway through the season, and see depending on what's happened next season. And depending on what's happened, we either cut Arteta, or hopefully, Arteta's won us some trophies, and we just keep the ball moving, right? This is my opinion. That's what I think needs to happen. I don't think, but that's in the scenario of capitulating. Now, I don't think that you can sack anybody if, say, Arsenal push it right to the last game of the season and maybe miss out on a point, and Arsenal gets to either the semi-final and maybe gets knocked out to either Man City or Real Madrid by like a 1 goal difference. or makes it to the final and maybe we lose by like 1 goal, respectable, or we lose in a penalty shootout. Because in my mind, and it may sound weird, but in my mind, that's progression. And the reason why I say that is because from what happened last season and the seasons before under Arteta, within the space of 4 years to go through that and then 2 years in a row finish second, but this season get a lot closer in points to actually winning it and get to a UCL final or semi-final, that's definitely a platform to build upon next season. That's definitely he could sit down with the squad at the end of the season and go, look, we didn't win, yeah, but this is where we got to. And the only thing higher for us is to win it. So you're at that level. Everybody just go away, you know, get refreshed, you know, enjoy the Euros if you're playing in it, you know, and come back hungry, yeah. We're going to be making some changes, yeah, whether that's in the back room or in the squad. We're going to be bringing in some new blood, yeah, that can take us over the line, yeah. When you guys come back, yeah, it's all about proving your worth and we keep on going. This is my opinion, yeah. So those are the two scenarios given, yeah, of what my opinion is like. But it's all very dependent on what we do for the remainder of the season, yeah. Anyone that's just saying flat out black and white, if we don't win anything, get him out, yeah, idiots, yeah. You can't look at football through some black and white lens because football's not black and white. There's not many things in life that are black and white. There's grey area. There's grey area. The way that the way that a lot of these men talk, yeah, it's like every the way that these men talk, every manager that doesn't win a trophy every season will get sacked. Well, what's the point? What's the point? Like, honestly, what's the point? Like, what would be the point? Like, and then on top of that, yeah, Arsenal's not a club whose culture is sacking managers to find a manager that can just get us instant success. It's never been that way. So, yeah, those those are some of my thoughts. Yeah, on the game. Sorry, not the game. Whoa, see, I'm already thinking about Aston Villa. My bad. Those are some of my thoughts. Let me know what you think. You know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Either's fine. Really don't mind. We just love a conversation over here. Like and subscribe. Share if you can. I would appreciate it greatly. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.